Hello viewers, good evening. Welcome back to Fine TV. This is episode 2 of our usual Edusa hour. It comes the way every Sunday. Today we are going to talk about a very much interesting topic, and we have learned guests here that will be, talking to us about the team. So today's program is going to be very much interesting. Here in the studio, we'll be talking about a team that is the integration of technologies into the education system. We have two wonderful guests here. I have somebody here who was my boss, who was the former IPF, and I'm happy to receive him here today. He's coming here as a guest to talk about the same thing. And we also have the Honorable Clerk of the UTG-SU LB. I will give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. This is a pressing topic, and it is very much important as education students will talk about this theme. That is the integration of technology. Looking at the educational system of the Gambia nationally and internationally, it is dynamic in such a way that if technology is not incorporated, if it is not properly integrated, the quality education we are adhering for will be difficult. And if we are not having that quality education, of course, we cannot solve our own problems. So I'm here with my co-host, Mamodu C, whom I will give the mic to introduce himself. From there, the guests also are going to introduce themselves, and make sure you stay tuned and enjoy the program, and make sure you share your live comments. See, you can.
Yes, good evening, viewers, and then welcome back to another Edusa hour that comes your way on Fine TV every week. I mean, like Ismail have said, here we are to talk about a pressing issue that has to do with our education system. And we have our beautiful guests here, and we have our handsome guests. We have people who are learned that will take us through to the system of education that we have here. And then we will also look at how does technology, or how we can integrate technology into the system of our education system. So we implore on all of you to stay tuned while we go through this pressing issue. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now give the opportunity to the Honorable Clerk of the UTG-SU, Mr.
All right. Good evening, viewers. My name is Edusa. I'm the Deputy Clerk of the LB of UTG-SU, and we welcome everyone to watch the second edition of Edusa Hour on Fine TV.
That was the Deputy Clerk of the UTG-SU Legislative Body. Thank you very much. Today you are going to enjoy him. He's a veteran to do very proactive student within the School of Education, highly learned. And to my able boss, the former IPR of Edusa, I'm happy to host him here today. My boss, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismail Jassi, and then the wonderful presenters, that is Mr. Momodu C, and also my co-host, who is my able boss, Mr. Aliu. Thank you very much, Fine TV, once again for giving us this platform to express our thoughts, especially on pressing issues which are very important for the students of the University of the Gambia, especially the students under the School of Education. So once again, I am very much delighted for the first time to be here as a guest. And today I am not actually on the hot seat, if I may call it. That is the presentation seat. So I am very much happy that the partnership is also continuing. And for that being the case, I have to thank Fine TV a lot, and also the 14th Executive Council for taking up this particular partnership that has already started, to make sure it is still alive. So thank you very much. I hope the topic we are going to talk about, which is the integration of technology into the education system, is going to be a very worthwhile topic that we are going to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is Lamin Sane for you. That was the former IPR of Edusa. They started this initiation. That is the partnership with Fine TV. Fine TV is a media that have been very supportive to education students. You cannot pay them. You'll be surprised that they are offering these services to us at free. So we are always grateful, and we are always praying that let the media continue to progress more and more. So in the studio, we'll be talking about this interesting theme, that is the integration of technology into the education system of the Gambia. So we are going to look at the dynamic in terms of the education system of the Gambia. How could technology be integrated, incorporated into the system for a better and proper and advanced educational system you all desire to have? So my first guest have to be Honorable Deputy Clerk, that is Alu Sane. Before we talk about the team, we first need to talk about the educational structure of the Gambia. That is the overview. So I will be taking us through how is the educational structure of the Gambia generally before we talk about the integration of technology into it. So Alu, the floor is open. You can tell the viewers about that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, IPRO. The education system in the Gambia is structured. The language of instruction is English language. That is the first thing, and it's divided into sections. As the first one, we have the primary level. That's 6 years, and you also have the secondary level where you spend 3 years, and senior secondary also you have 3 years again, and tertiary also you have 3 years in college and 4 years in university of the Gambia. So this is the education structure in the Gambia. Yeah.
Thank you very much. He was talking about the educational structure of the Gambia. That is 3664. That is, we spend 3 years in the primary school, 3 years in the upper basic school, and also 6 years in the primary, 3 in the upper, and 3 in the senior. And at the university, we spend 4 years there. So it is 6334. You may spend 3 years at the Gambia College, 4 years at the University of the Gambia. So that is the educational structure of the Gambia. It's important for people to know about this because we are coming to talk about how this structure affect in terms of integration. That's what we are talking about. Mamorsi, did you have anything on this before we proceed to the
Yes, I mean, it's very good that we go through the overview of our Gambian education system. For the fact that we stay for 6 years in our primary school and then junior school 3, senior school 3, and then tertiary institution 3, university 4. That's a good thing. But then I just want to ask Mr. Ali, so what do you think of this structure? Does it help our Gambian education system? Is there any way that we could reduce maybe at some point, or is it okay like this in your own opinion?
In my own opinion, I think it's well structured because they spent 6 years in primary because the curriculum is well designed by experts and you have educational psychologists who took their time before they structure this. So if a child spends 6 years in primary and following the due process and proceed to the secondary where you spend 3 years and sit to grade 9 exam, we call it GABES, and then to the secondary school where grade 12 exam also we have transition before college or university. So I think it's well structured. So the only thing that can be added, maybe we can modify or integrate technology that is lacking. But I think subsequently we'll also talk about that one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a befitting response from the Deputy Clerk of the UTG SVLB. He was talking about the structure is properly done in such a way that children are going to have the opportunity to spend 6 years in the primary. I think 6 years is enough for a child to learn at that basic level, spend 3 years at the upper basic and 3 years at the high school, and of course in the tertiary, Gambia College 3 years, and at the university you spend 4 years because the bachelor's degree program is intensive. Some may have that opportunity to go to the Gambia College directly, others may have that opportunity to go to the university directly. So spending this particular duration will really help. Thank you very much. That was a very good follow-up question. Now we move to Honorable Lamin Sane, that is the Deputy IPR. We are still talking about the same theme, that is the integration. Honorable Sane, Alu have just taken us through about the educational structure of the Gambia from the primary to the tertiary institute. So now, looking at the topic at hand, this is a pressing issue, it is a pertinent issue that is affecting our educational system because we want that quality education. So what are some of the ways you think the integration of this thing, how to call it, technology into the education system? Why do you think it should be integrated? Why should technology be integrated into our educational system for the Gambia?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ismail, once again. I think it is important that technology is integrated into our education system because if you look at the world we are living in, we understand that we are living in the era of science and technology. So whatever you do, you mostly have to deal with technology, which means it is very important. It is in fact part of our daily lives. We cannot just go without it. So when it comes to our educational sector, this is a very important sector that needs to integrate technology in it because you'll find out that there are certain things that we need it is through technology we can actually get them at the best level and also at the best form. Let's say the education, the areas that we are learning in the schools, without using technological materials, it will be very difficult for us to disseminate the information for the students to understand. If you go into the classroom, you'll find out that the technological materials we use, these are material that helps to disseminate the information that the teacher wants to disseminate to the students for them to really understand. Take, for example, the material like the projectors that we use. These are technological materials, and they make life easy for the teacher to actually portray an information
instead of copying directly
exactly from instead of doing the other manual ways
it will consume time.
It consumes time. So you'll find out that technology is really important, because once it is involved and people are learned the ways that they should actually use those technological materials, you'll find that they'll find it easy to easily excel through it and also get lots of information and learn easily. So the importance of it cannot be overemphasized. But currently, if you look at the state of our education, you'll find out that we have lots of lapses when it comes to technology. Even at our high institutions, we are not making good use of the technology. We are not making good use of these devices that we have. The computers are not well used. They are not well utilized. Even if they are used, you'll find out that the percentage that we use them for is very minimal compared to our hard copies and so on. So because with the integration of technology, you'll find out that most of the things we need should not be, in fact, we need less papers. That is why one of the importance of technology, it makes the world to be green. You understand? So instead of using those materials, we'll be, depriving ourselves from using them, and also involve ourselves in using the technological materials. So the importance is, huge, and then it is high time the Gambia joins other countries and all the part of the world that are really integrating technology into their education system, because we really need it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sane. Before I go to Aliu, I will just need to ask you a further questions. Yes, you mentioned that if we introduce technology, we will move from manual to technological.
Digital,
Yes, but basically, how do you think this can be done? And then again, how do you think it can help both the teachers and the students in particular? Because we believe at the side of the university, we are talking of teachers who are being trained there, but it's like the environment is not conducive technologically. Now, how do you think this technology can affect or impact the lives of both teachers and then the students?
Thank you very much. I think there are lots of questions in that, and then so I'll try. I'll manage to answer. If I leave any, you can bring me forward. So it is important. The way we can actually bring technology into the education system, I don't think it's very difficult. Although it needs lots of efforts. And I think one of the ways to integrate it is to start it at the institution where we train teachers, where the teachers are actually trained. In the Gambia, one of the highest institutions that train teachers is the Gambia College. But before the Gambia College, we can even have it at the schools. We can have it at the grassroots level. Schools from the primary school, if students are exposed to the technology, they are exposed to computer, they are exposed to how to write in the computer, how to send some of those data. Okay, so that is it. So like I was saying, the college is very important when it comes to integrating technology to the education system, because they need to train teachers, who are going to be equipped with the technical know-how. They know how to actually use it and know how to teach it to students that they are teaching. So here, the Gambia government need to, do a lot when it comes to that part. If it is possible, we should actually have students who are very much trained. Let's say they can be trained here or even overseas. They should be sponsored to that level where they'll be able to have the, let's say, the technical knowledge. It could be the basic, but then we should actually do away with only the basic and by going to the advanced level.
Yeah, because
that will also help us, so that at the university level, you'll find out that the IT sector will have lots of students, because you'll find out that basically I can say I'm also part of the IT school because my mind was there.
Exactly.
So I know the number of students we have in our classes.
Very small.
So very small.
Very
you
small.
find out that people always run away from the computer science sector.
What could be the reason for that?
Yeah, this is the reason, because you find out that people are not exposed to them
at the
early
basic
age.
level, at an early
basic
age.
age.
So the government really need to work
exactly.
on that,
So government need to work at the grassroots level. everything has to start from the grassroots level.
Very well. Exactly.
If you look at other aspects, the reason why we cannot actually go into French much is because we don't start at the early. So that may be another topic for another day.
Yes,
but
exactly.
you understand that always the grassroots level is very important. Once you nurture people, they start whatever they start with, they easily grab it before they get old or reach at certain levels. So it has to start from the grassroots level, that is at the schools, and to start it at the school, the college has to be equipped with the technology. The human resources has to be there, and also the materials has to be there. That is another important part, because we have labs, IT centers,
labs,
which are very, very much deserted. One can say you enter there, you not even see proper computer materials. Also.
Tools are not there.
Tools are not there. You will not find proper cables, the fiber optic cables and so on that we need to see, rather than always learning from the book. We need to see them.
It's not helpful.
Because seeing is believing, and then that makes you easy to connect the dots, and also to connect what you have been learning in theoretical aspect, so you can connect it to the practical aspect. So these are things that we are really lacking. We need to equip our IT centers at the schools, and also, in fact, they need to be equipped more at the college level, so that the teachers who are going to learn it there can also convey the message properly as it should be. So there is lots of investment that needs to be done in that aspect if you want to integrate it.
Thank you very much. He was talking about how important technology integration could help the Gambia educational system, and he made mention of a lot of things, starting from the Gambia College to the university. I'm a living witness. I'm equally minor in computer science, but our classes are always very small. Only limited numbers are there, because a lot of students are running from minoring or even studying as a major, because they have no background from the high school, and this is really disturbing. So I think the government should look into this. At the basic level, primary school should have computer labs at the upper basic school. So the same question is going to be posed on Honorable Alu. Sani have talked about some of the benefits of this integration, and you also talk about the Gambia educational structure. So what are some of the ways also that this integration of technology could be beneficiary to the Gambia educational system? Because we want that quality education. We want that education that can solve our problems.
Yeah, okay. All right, just to add what Honorable Sane said, is very important, because technology in general, it helps to prosper and foster and enhance anything that we are doing. So bringing technology into education, it means that you are trying to add or double up the speed. So most of the times teachers do manual work, but using technology in schools, you can see we can achieve a lot of things. So I wouldn't say most students are not exposed to technology. I think they are exposed. It's just that we are not utilizing, because most of the students have smartphones. They have smart TVs in their rooms. They have laptops. They know these things even more than their teachers. So I do call them digital natives, and I call teachers digital immigrants, because the students know more than the teachers. Even school students use these phones more, and they even know better than some of even their parents.
Very well.
So bringing technology in education, it means that you are helping the system, and it helps you to achieve your instructional objective faster and very easy. For example, if you are teaching general science, you are teaching digestive system, you can use your smart TV. You understand what I'm saying? So these are some of the few things that they're important. Yeah, I don't want to take more time, but this is what I just said.
Okay, we are talking about how best integration of technology in the educational system could be beneficiary, and that was from Honorable Alu. He was talking about the quality education, and this is in line. If you look at the educational policy of the Gambia 2004-2015, it talks about the quality, that is SDG 4, the Sustainable Development Goal 4. It has to do with quality education. That is the education that you should be able to apply and solve your own educational problems. So without wasting more time, we are now moving to another question, and make sure you follow Fine TV and you share your live comments. We are talking about a very much important theme, which is a pressing issue, and this is seriously affecting our educational system. So we are now moving to Honorable Lamin San again. You are still on technology, because this is a very much important topic. So Mr. Sane, you've talked about a lot of things, that are beneficiary, that are very much important towards improving the educational system of the Gambia. Now also you could, tell the audience like some of the ways how this could be best integrated. What are some of the possible means of best integrating this technology into the educational system for proper, effective, and teaching? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Already, we've mentioned some of the ways that we can actually do it. That is, like I said before, we need to actually work on our grassroots level by trying to nurture people who are going to bring it forth. Or maybe another way is that is this university, that is the University of the Gambia. I think we need to work on there as well. Our IT sector has to do a lot, and that is what is lacking there right now is the materials. The lab is actually not equipped.
Yeah,
in fact, I don't know, but then the lab is really very poor. Yeah, at the school, so we are there. We know how it is. It is not really telling, and these are places that can actually give you hope that the Gambia is also taking a lot of steps towards improving its technological front. Understand? And then we are also, maybe this can also tell us that we are trying our efforts to make sure we integrate technology into our education system. But if you look at it truly, you don't see much improvement in that aspect. And I think the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education should also wake up and then work towards improving their technology. Because if you go to the MOPSI itself, you'll find out that really there are lots of lapses. If I enter the records office, I wonder, why are those papers?
Those bulk papers. This is the problem. We have servers, we have cloud storage.
I'm telling you, so all these are there. The memory spaces that we have are too much. So we should not be, in fact, when you enter the records of papers, do it first. And this
in case if emergency happen, that place is gone. How can they retrieve those data?
It will be catastrophic.
Yes,
so we understand that we cannot do away with papers totally, but then we should very much minimize them.
Yeah, it should be minimized.
It should be minimized.
Okay, hello, welcome back after that short break. We are still continuing with the program on a very much interesting theme, that is the integration of technology into our Gambian education system. So, without wasting more time, we are now moving to Honorable Alu. Now, the question right now we have at hand is the University of the Gambia in particular, because we understand the University of the Gambia is having various schools. Honorable Alu, the University of the Gambia, particularly the School of Education, this is the only school that is, training teachers or producing teachers. So, are they offering courses, or what are some of their roles they are playing that is towards integrating technology into the Gambia education system? That is the university. You can use School of Education here for an example.
Okay. Thank you very much, IPRO. Yeah. The University of the Gambia is doing their level best to train teachers, especially in School of Education, that will send teachers back to the school. Yes, I can say for certain the universities doing their best. Maybe we can say the facilities are not in place or they are not fully equipped, because there are certain courses that one is compulsory for every student to do it. That is teaching methodology, whether it's in science or arts. So in that course, you have teaching aids, or if you even have technology in that. And the following semester, you have to go for teaching practice. And we also have a course called Educational Technology, EduTech. So I can say, yes, they are there. Maybe one can say the facility is not available that we can use to do the practical. And here the blame goes back to the university or the government. They should fully, they should fully equip university with facilities, because it's one of the highest institutions in the country. So we don't need to learn some of these things abstract. We need to have them in place, so that when we get back to schools, we can do the same thing. But what they can do is improvise,
which is not helpful.
Yes. So even some of the students at their home level, they have these facilities, but in our university, as the highest institution, we don't have these things there. So I think we should, University of the Gambia should do their best to equip these facilities so we can do the practical life, not to improvise. But to answer the question, yes, there are courses there that fully equip teachers before they get to schools. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Sadly. So you are talking about the educational technology and the methodology of teaching. that is the teaching subject, arts and science, where students are given that opportunity to learn teaching aids, modern teaching aids, maybe, projector, how to use it in class. As mentioned by Sane before, these projectors can be very much helpful in terms of, teaching and learning, because it will help the teacher to avoid, wastage of time. Time will not be wasted. If you have a projector, you can just present it, and it will not be cost to copy any notes on the blackboard also. So the cost of the educational technology, like it is related to technology, you understand. How is that course content? Is that course particularly geared towards integrating? Are students learning things that are related to technology? Are they doing practical related to those areas that are helping these teachers when they go back to the field to make sure that they impact the life and the livelihood of those students?
Yes, thank you very much again. Yes, the intention is to enhance. That's the intention. But practically, whether that's what should be in place is also another question. Yes, but I can tell you for certain, teachers are willing to do. In fact, they are doing their extra mile in schools. But it's just that we also have certain teachers, or some teachers don't want to adopt change. They believe that technology in schools can make students become very lazy, or they can abuse technology,
or exposed,
or being exposed.
negative.
Yes, there are other teachers also that believe that using technology in school, like smartphones or some of these softwares that help students to do their assignment very quick and fast, they believe that it makes students to become very dull, or they don't apply critical thinking, because they believe that 30 years ago they finished their education without this technology. So these are some of the constraints that's within the teachers themselves.
So some teachers are anti-technology.
Very well.
They are not in line with technology.
Now, I call it, they have mindset 1 and mindset 2. Mindset 1 will be think that, let me say this way, digital age is more of digital industrialization, or is more of industrialization. Mindset 2 believe that it reduces the thinking capacity of the student. So they believe that, no, I have done it 30 years ago without technology, so and so students should also do it. But I think this is very wrong. I think technology is very important. In fact, technology is application of scientific knowledge. It's use of knowledge from science gain, and in fact, it's because of thinking we have technology. You understand what I'm saying? So this technology, it enhances teachers to achieve their instructional objective. That's one. 2, it does not waste time. In fact, what you're supposed to do in 1 hour, you can do it in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And 3, it helps students to participate
effectively.
In fact, without the teacher, even this technology there, students can participate even without an instructor, because they will just follow the instruction and do it. Unlike teaching aid, the teacher has to prepare the lesson plan and come and teach. So without the teacher, lesson cannot take place.
Are you currently doing methodology of teaching science?
Yes, I'm doing it.
And you are currently learning about teaching aids, like modern teaching aids, for example? Like,
yes.
Did you learn any modern teaching aid tools apart from van cards or other traditional materials?
Yes, I am learning them, but I see it as abstract.
Okay.
Because I believe that teachers should be fully equipped. Every teacher in schools should have a laptop, or even at the departmental level. Because you intend to train teachers to use technology in schools, but the teacher is not even having a smartphone. In fact, students are having more sophisticated smartphones than even the teacher. So the schools, or even let me say the ministries, should be willing to take this responsibility very seriously to equip teachers fully. Every teacher should have their own laptop, or at the departmental level if the cost effective is not there.
So one could say those modern tools, they should be properly handled by teachers. Teachers should be trained on how to use those modern tools to enhance their effective teaching and learning.
Absolutely, because what they are all focusing is lesson plan, and lesson plan is manual. In fact, teachers are having problem because of this lesson plan, and other schools are using lesson plan using technology online. In fact, there's a school, I don't want to mention schools, there are some schools, they are fingerprint, they don't use books to sign. In fact, student report is on portal, they have portal system. In fact, the registration, they don't use register, they have, everything is online. Even as a parent, you can sit at home and know
whether your parent, student, your child is present.
But that one depends on the principal also that's willing to take the school to the highest level. But the ministry alone, or the regional office alone, all their focus is teacher to plan lesson, and that is very manual. So it means that they are not helping technology to take place. in school. So this is another some of constraints that we have, even not as a teacher, but from the regional level or even the ministry level, not only at the university level.
Thank you very much. I think this is a very much important thing. As people always say, the lesson plan and the scheme is the Bible and the Quran. So that proper teaching and learning cannot be done without using these modern teaching aid tools. For example, Projecto. Projecto is a very much efficient, tool that a teacher can use and display videos, display lecture materials instead of copying things on the blackboard also. So I think the government really needed to double up, and the University of the Gambia as well. These courses like methodology of teaching science and arts, they should bring these tools in the class and train these teachers how to use them. Educational technology, these are courses which should be geared towards this integration, so that if the teachers goes outside, they can be able to impact lives of the various students across the country. Mr. C, did you have any follow-up question or anything to that before we move to Mr. Sane?
Yeah, I think Mr. Aliu has mentioned so much, and then all is geared towards the integration of technology into our education system. I'll just move on quickly with Mr. Sane.
Mr. Sane,
Yeah, I think basically introducing technology is very expensive. We understand, and I mean we know it comes with hindrance. In your opinion, what do you think these hindrances could be? What do you think would be some of the difficulties the government will face in introducing this
integrating this,
integrating technology into our education system? What do you think?
Thank you very much, Mr. C, and thank you, Mr. Aliu, for that insightful explanation of how technology can actually be integrated, and then some of the details. Yeah, you are very right. When it comes to integrating it, we have hindrances, we have problems, we have bottlenecks, and then so much issues that we need to be looked at. And this can also be challenges that we usually face. The government will face a lot, of course, because the first thing, number one thing, that is it is too expensive to invest into it. You need to invest with lots of dimes. So you understand that it will be very difficult, because making sure these modern materials are available. Let's say the material that the schools need, computers, because the IT labs should have enough laptops or enough computers that each of the students should be able to have access to. So, and this is not easily done. This needs lots of investment. So you'll find out that finance is usually the number one problem of it. And the other issue is electricity. In the Gambia we have that problem. One of the difficulties of computer, of learning it, is because of the issue of electricity. We face it here in the program, so you understand how it is. Usually you will not have a very good program without electricity being interrupting you. And then even as a businessman, if you want to really survive well, you need to have a standby generator also. So electricity is one of the hindrances to our technology. And then this affects a lot of students at school level. You'll be attending classes, you might be in the lab, and light goes. So when that happens, you find it difficult to continue on.
And in fact, there are a lot of schools in the Gambia who are still not having electricity. So it's like there are no labs that can operate there.
Very good. So that is one of those things that we have to fix before we are able to integrate it. So one of the hindrances is electricity, power supply. Yes. Power supply is usually lacking, and some of these materials, some of these machines or these computers, they can be up to a certain level, or let's say some of the technological materials, they can be having higher voltage, but some of the voltage supply to them will be minimal, because we know the computer has been metamorphosed, or has been transformed from the inception. Since it started with the mainframe computers, we can see those giant ones. It can be filling a whole building also. It has been changed up to this level that we have small gadgets. We can have small mobile phone that can take equal number of material that the laptop can take. So all this has been the changes that the computer has really gone through. And if you also look at the architecture of the computer, you'll find out that from the Moore's law, that the computer will always have better speed when it comes to its usage. And so, but all this cannot be done without us involving a lot in investing into it, and also training the human resource, the materials, the human resource that we need. We have to actually train. So one of those problems, like I said, the problems that can affect us is power supply, and also money, finance. So our financial sector has to be very much strong for us to get into it.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you mentioned the fact that it's going to be very difficult to integrate it with with the hindrances that we have in place. But then how do you envision this? Do you think it's going to take the government so long to integrate technology? Do you,
Or are they
how
currently on it exactly? Or are
Yes,
they really serious with this?
definitely yes.
So to start with, if I want to say they are currently on it, I may be lying also. But even if they are, the speed at which they are actually trying to do it is very slow.
Very slow,
Because
yeah.
one of the ways of us integrating is to have a policy first. But if we don't have, a standard information or communication policy,
In the Gambia.
Minister of Basic and Secondary, which is very much shocking. So, in order to integrate it, we need to have that, because you have to go through those policies and then try to follow them so that the technology can really be integrated. So at the moment, we really need to do a lot. May not be able to actually, approximate how much it will take, but I know it will take a long time for us to have it fully, integrated into our system. Because, like I said, the centers have to be built. The college
Centers,
have to
in
get
fact,
the
that is the
center.
biggest problem.
Exactly, the centers have to be built in the schools, at the college, or at the university. We have the center at the university at
In
Faraba.
fact, just recently, without stepping in, just recently they conducted a, is it a training sort of, a dialogue sort of, at the OIC. Is it 2 days ago, the conference center? They were talking about the sustainable development goal 4.
Yeah.
The higher education and the ministry were all there, and they are talking about how to improve the educational system of the Gambia.
Yeah.
And this technology issue we are talking about, this is a serious thing.
It is
How many schools are in the Gambia without having computer labs?
labs.
How many schools are in the Gambia without enough electricity or without even having electricity? So I think the government really needed to double up in this. They really needed to try. If you want to have that quality education,
For sure.
they should really double up.
They really need to do a lot. So that is it. Yeah.
In addition,
Yeah.
in addition, yeah, I think if the government is very serious about this technology, they should make science very compulsory in senior school. But now we can see that science is not compulsory. Students should, in fact, they have that option to choose science. Now I think civic is compulsory as a core subject.
Yeah, science is removed.
Science
And this
removed.
is serious.
So you can
This
see
is
in
alarming.
logicality here, and science being the systematic study of nature, or in fact the basic way of acquiring knowledge through observation and experiment, and to describe natural phenomena, and that's why we have technology.
Yes, Mr. Ali, you were mentioning the fact that science is very important in technology. Yeah, we know. But then, do you think technology can be only used in science? I think in other fields as
Yeah,
well, when it
maybe
comes
it
to
could be
literature
applied.
and all of that, it could be
English and
applied.
political
What do you think?
science. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you are very right. But I think people misunderstood what is science. Science comes from the word, the Latin science, meaning knowledge. So all other subjects are also science. So you understand what I'm saying? So when people say science, they only focus on subject general science.
Subject matter.
So
Yeah.
science is beyond that. Science is very beyond that. In fact, there are 4 main subjects that are very important as a primary subject. That is physics, chemistry, biology, and you have mathematics. Exactly. So everything that you see in this world is from this 4. For example, this microphone is from what? It's from physics.
Physics.
You understand what I'm saying? Chemistry, all the chemicals that we use in pharmacy, in the hospitals, etc. Biology, when it comes to nutrition, food, etc. So everything comes from this 4. But you can see in Africa, let me not only limit myself to the Gambia, we neglect technology. We focus more on culture, more on politics, more on other areas. But the basic important thing is this thing, and that's technology. So technology, in fact, if you look at the origin of technology, how it started, let's say the Stone Age, when people are using stone to ignite fire, that's technology. Thinking start from there. So the difference between a human being and a monkey is thinking. For example, a monkey, the way they break ground 100 years ago, is still the same. But the way human being break ground 30 years ago is different from now. Now we use machine to do it. So thinking is taking place. So that is science. Even SES is science. Even literature, language is science. We have physical science, biological science, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying?
Social science.
So everything is science. But taking our science from senior school as a core subject, bringing civic, is very important. People need to know their right. But right to protect what? You are protecting that technology. So the thing that invent or create that technology, you take that one out, then I see misplaced priority here. So it means that the government It's not very serious.
So it was your own decision.
It's a very wrong decision.
To remove science being a compulsory
Yes.
subject.
And right now, even right now, you are watching live on Fine TVs because of technology. So during COVID-19, nobody was foreseeing that we have that pandemic where everybody was isolated, people were in rooms, nobody know what to do. Imagine if there was no technology, people would not be learning. In fact, we wouldn't know that COVID-19 is taking place because of technology. Now we get to online and see what is going on live. Right now, people are watching live. It's because of technology. So the same thing can be applied in education. Education technology. In Africa, these five big countries like South Africa and Egypt, they are one of the best countries that are utilizing this technology. Yeah, and I'm consuming more time. Me, we are great talkers. So
yeah, I think I will agree with him on this area, because if you look at the failures of students within high school and so, governments have problems with thinking, and science will give that opportunity to think. Most of us as governments, you have that mathematical ability problem. You cannot think, you cannot analyze. And this is all coming from science. Science is given that opportunity. So I think government needed to revisit that decision of removing science from being a compulsory subject and bringing civic. Both could be there, but removing science completely is even making students to hate the particular field, because if something is elective, obviously they'll go for the one that they think is more easier or cheaper for them. So that one was a very much wonderful deliberation from Alu. So we continue with our last questions to Mr. Sane. So having talked about all these things, and from the structure of the educational system of the Gambia, how important technology is, and looking at the educational policy of the Gambia, particularly in terms of quality, they said they want that quality. That is the SDG 4. So do you really think the government is prepared, or they are really serious? And what recommendation do they have for the government of the Gambia, and maybe and the university at large? Which recommendation do you have for them in terms of integrating this into our educational policy for us to have that quality education?
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable IPR, once again. Before I actually answer this, I know time is our enemy at the moment. But then Mr. Ali is talking about something which is very important. Maybe this can also be noted as a topic of its own, because it's very important, really. As he said, science is actually, the whole world, we actually go by science. At the initial stage, I was saying that we are living in science and technology. In fact, that has always been the case. Just that we are now advocating for it more, or emphasizing more on it. But then the world has ever been living on science and technology, although now it is at a better level. So it is very important. That decision is really not good at all. Science is not actually, it's not that subject that should be removed as compulsory. So I think, we are actually imploring on Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and the curriculum department to actually revisit their decision and try to do as they, because we are also not speaking as, as non-entities when it comes to this area. We have been teaching for years, so we know what the students need, and we also know what can actually improve the educational sector. So coming to your question, it is important for us to have quality education. There are a lot that we need to do. And one of the ways, one of the problems, one of the injuries we are actually doing to that is what we just mentioned. That is the removal of a very important subject as, a core subject. That is, giving leeway to students who are very lazy like me, that, they are giving you the opportunity to choose a very easy subject that can easily give you credit than another subject, which is very important despite its difficulties. In fact, there is nothing that is difficult if you do your efforts. That is what I always tell some students. I'll tell them, if you are doing a course and it is difficult, you know what that course is telling you? It is telling you, I want you to prepare well for me. I want you to tighten your belts, pull your socks up, and then do me.
So that you can be well
because
equipped.
at the end, you must be able to do it. Whatever you struggle for, you get it. Usually you get it. So always, whenever something is difficult, it needs hard work. It needs dedication from you. It needs commitment from you. So science, it should be very important. That is one of these ways. So we have to look at our curriculum. Our curriculum is very important. For us to have quality education, we have to revisit our curriculum.
Curriculum, exactly.
I think this is number one problem. If you go to other countries, one of the ways they improve their educational sector and also their quality of education is try to also look at their curriculum to bring in subjects which are very much intertwined with their way of living. and which are very much demanding. Because in the Gambia here, we have, subjects that we actually do. And that, if you look at all of this, all the subjects are fine. That is not the problem. Now, the nitty-gritty is like the issues we teach, students about. These are the problems. You'll find out that like these subjects which are technical, we are teaching those students about something that they have never seen. Let's say, for example, in science, paramecium, and so on. We're teaching them, some of these schools, the students have never gone to the lab to even see a microscope. So they find it difficult to know what you are saying. They will get the knowledge, as like you said, in abstract form, but they will not see the material themselves. And sometimes this is very difficult. Like the Chinese proverb says, I remember, something like that. So once you see, you can easily
remember it.
You can relate. But if these things are not done, we have the curriculum, we have these subjects, but the way we teach them, really will not get the quality education we need from them.
And I learned that also they are introducing ICT as a subject in the senior school. That students should do it at worst level.
Yeah.
But if you look at most of these schools in the Gambia, they are not even having computer.
They are not having computer.
So it's quite interesting.
They don't have it. So you have teaching the student basic inputs and outputs. And you are telling him, let's say, a printer is one of the output inputs, so output material.
Yeah,
but the student have never seen it. You've never done printing for him to see or how to see it. So these are things that the student will just have the theoretical knowledge about. But maybe the material, the student will see it, will not even know that this is the material the teacher has. So these are things we have to revisit. Our curriculum has to change for better for us to have quality education.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Sane. You've mentioned a lot, and then it's very, very important. But then again, where do we start? Do we start with the structures, or do we start with the materials? Basically, we know we have schools that do not have even an equipped computer lab, or even some of them who have a computer labs. They are not even using it. Maybe at some point, because I will not mention a school. I was in a school. They were sponsored. They have everything. Their lab was very much equipped, but they don't have teachers.
No IT teacher.
Exactly. They don't have IT teacher. Even the IT teacher, they do not have those skills to operate those computers. I mean, where do we start from? Do we start with the structures, or do we start with the materials?
That's an interesting question, actually. I know it's important. So this is important. You do not see us as critics. In fact, it is good that we criticize. Always you need to accept criticism, especially if they are constructive. Because we are citizens and we know this thing because we have been in the field. So this truly he is very right. Those schools are there. You can mention them, no problem. There's no problem mentioning the schools. But then they are almost an open secret. Everybody knows them because we have been gone to many schools. In fact, you don't have to go further. There are many schools in the Gambia. Just close your eyes and then point any school you want. Those schools will always have those lapses.
IT labs are there.
The IT labs are always having lapses. And also the resources, the human resources.
Is the problem.
Teachers that are teaching them, like I said from the onset, if they don't have the well training, they cannot deliver. They'll find it difficult. And also, even if they want to deliver, if the materials are not on the ground, they'll find it very difficult to deliver. So again, the startup level should be at the ministry. The ministry, they should all have this mindset first. They should pen it down and try to see the ways of working on them. Initially on Fine TV here and other media, we spoke about TVET, that is technical
vocational education. Exactly.
We were emphasizing on it on our Edusa nationwide tool. We emphasized on it, and also some other platforms. So you see that this is one of the ways that most of the countries progress through. Because if you teach students, this technical vocational education, they become self-employed. They can actually relate things easily, and they can get the knowledge to better their lives. So one of the ways of us, doing this could be the integration of debate education. And I'm happy that recently I was listening to the audios that usually Mr. Honorable Grace sent to our platform, that is the Coffee Time with Peter.
Coffee Time, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Fine TV, for mentioning the program. Yeah, okay, but then this is a program that is very important. You'll find out that I once listened to the documentary of Tibet, and I was very impressed about it. It seems I don't know whether this was taken from us as 13 Executive Council, because we started it. We went on tour to all the schools, almost many schools in the Gambia, and then we were emphasizing on Tibet. In fact, that was our team of the tour. Exactly. So you can see we went on tour to see how schools are integrating it, how schools are bringing this up. because this is one of the ways, if not the most important way, of us improving our educational system and also getting the better of our students and also improving our country as a whole. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I mean, if I understand very well, you are mentioning the fact that first we need to put it in the grassroots level. That is,
That
we
is
teach
structure.
it. I mean, second, we need to equip the teachers, and then third, we need to have the materials with their structures. Yeah, that is a very fine one. Yes, I think we can.
Yes, Mr. Alan. So quickly, that is the last question. Which recommendation did you have for the University of the Gambia in particular? Was the University of the Gambia are producing teachers? What did you have for them in terms of this integration? Which recommendation can you give to them?
Yes, I think I will add another recommendation beyond university, that's college and even teachers at schools. I think we need to know the reason for learning is transfer of culture from one heritage to another heritage. And teachers also should know that it's not their role to discipline students. It's not our role. Our role is to manage them because they are coming from different backgrounds, from different homes, from different disciplinary, from different angles, backgrounds. So they come and converge in a class. So you are there to manage them. So I always say this: disobedient kids that have been ignored for too long, they can have a final tough love by any experienced teacher. So thinking is very paramount, and we need to train students to think logically, analytically, to become savvy and kind. So in university, the same thing applies. It's curriculum. The curriculum that runs from the primary to university. So I think you mentioned something about the curriculum, and curriculum is very important here.
Very key.
So university should, in fact, start from the university. We should do away from memorization form of education. We should embrace technology. We should make best use of technology. In fact, it's part of the quality education and sustainable development goal 4. That IT will be part of example area in grade 9 and grade
12. Yeah, it is not, in fact. It is approved already.
So in fact, I think in university, IT is one of the compulsory GR course.
CBS, that every student must do.
Yeah, they are trying. And where when someone is trying, you also have to encourage them to double up. So I think even beyond university, after university training teachers, if teachers are posted back to schools, we should have that daily workshop about this IT. Yes, and this other advice also goes to the teachers. I want teachers also to reconsider seizing mobile phones in schools, because these mobile phones, they are part of technology media material. So these smartphones, they can have dictionary, they can have artificial intelligence where we have ChatGPT, and so on and so forth. So I want teachers to reconsider seizing mobile phones. Instead, let them bring some mechanism whereby they can utilize it
properly.
Yes, and train these students, because like I said earlier, our role is not to discipline them, but to manage them. So we can use this mechanism by managing them, and maybe as time goes on, they will make best use of these smartphones or phones or any other material in school level. So for university, I think they are doing great, but they should double up. Yes. Thank you very much. I don't want to take much more time, because we don't have time is on our side.
Okay, thank you very much. That was the last question. So, Mr. C, finally, this marks the end of the program. Before I conclude, what did you have for the people? What did you have for the government? What did you have for the University of the Gambia College? What is your final word?
Yes, yes, thank you very much. Thank you to Fine TV, and then we have listened to both our guests, and we have seen how they took us through the importance of having technology in our education system. So, I mean, it was very insightful. It was very interactive. I mean, I think the government are listening. So we will want you. We are employing on you to consider putting technology into the education system. We know it's not easy, but then to compete with the world, to compete with the 21st century, you need to integrate technology in everything, not only in the education system, even in agriculture and all of that. All these countries that are doing well, they integrated technology into the system. So Gambia should not be left behind. Gambia should also double up to make sure technology is integrated in all sectors, especially our education. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I just want to say one recommendation for the university.
Okay.
Currently, like he said, we have introduction to computer information and communication. That is the
CPS.
program, like course that everybody is doing. But my recommendation is if they can introduce another, information course that is different, that will be advanced.
Maybe
than this.
CPS 1 and 2.
Exactly, yeah, we can have that. We can divide it into two so that people will have more. Because still, that subject, that course alone does not suffice the problem. Yeah, we still have lots of BBCs country. We have lots of people who are really suffering, on how to operate the computer, even the basic stuff. So I think we have to add up. Thank you.
That was a recommendation from Honorable Sanet that the CPS course students are doing at the university. If you look at use of English, students are doing 101 and 102, and this is helping them. And the same thing can be applied to that of CPS. Yeah. And in fact, we also, recommend the university to make sure the lecturers that are taking these courses make sure that students learn, enough practicals, because, sometimes it's not beneficiary if they are only giving lectures about computers, input devices, output devices. They should also be given that opportunity to interact with the lab. We have computer labs across campuses within the university. So students should have that ability to be able to do practical, because that is the benefit of the learning. You will not be surprised that we have students at the university who can still type their own assignments. They are still struggling with Microsoft Word. They cannot type their assignments. They have to liaise with other friends to help them. And this is a serious issue. This is very serious. So that marked the end of the program. It was very much interesting program. We have these two beautiful guests here who talk about very much fruitful and insightful discussions. And I hope viewers are listening, the government is listening, that there are a lot of things we've talked about here that, when adhered to, can really help us. Because Gambia as a country, we are behind. If you look at other countries in terms of technology, there was a program called the PSA and the PMI, that is a Progressive Science and Maths Initiative. I was part of the people who attended that training. It is like students are not going to be copying on the board anymore. There will be projectors, and after every lesson, there will be objective sessions where each student will have a remote. Teacher will just display these questions on the screen, and every student will read, and you just submit your answer as a correspond. So, and this was happening, and the program is no more happening. I don't know reasons best known today. Government, they should really come up with this. If you want to develop as a country, if you want to have that quality education, some of the things here we talk about, our curriculum, our educational structure, starting from the primary to the high school. The government is introducing ICT in senior school, but we will be surprised that there are a lot of schools that are still not having this. And in fact, students should be given that opportunity to study ICT at the University of the Gambia. I think this is very much important. Even to manage at the university, this is a very big problem for MOPSI. And ICT is a teachable subject that students are supposed to learn at the university. So these are some of the problems, we are facing as a country, and we hope the government is going to adhere to. So finally, we also thank Fine TV for hosting us. Fine TV have been very much supportive partners to us. They always help us Edusans, anytime we want to have insightful discussion, important program here, this is the avenue we always come to. We always pray that, the media keep on progressing. They are really one of the best media platforms in the Gambia. Because every Sunday, they give us that opportunity to have this with us. Yeah, so students within the university, particular education, this program is going to be shared. So the YouTube link, you can subscribe and make sure you share your comments. Anybody could come across them, and those comments could be, helpful to any other person. Who knows, a stakeholder could come across that comment, and that comment could be taken from there, and anything can happen. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Mr. Sane. Thank you, Mr. C and Honorable Sane. This marks the end of the program. See you next week. That is episode 3 of our usual Edusa Hour. Thank you all very much, and bye-bye from us.